Good morning. Hope you had a great holiday over the last 2 weeks. This is the first video of using Fusion 360. So today we're going to start off with building your frame. So hopefully, before you start, you will need to have making sure your development is completed, and you have a good understanding of all the sizes you need for your frame. So I've got a sketch here. I've done a bit of a sketch to show you what your development should look like. If we flip that over, a couple more. Okay, this is a sketch of a frame that I've sort of come up with for my cart. I've got all the sizes, the widths, the material. I suggest you use the exact same materials I've used. It's 25 by 25 by 1.6. Or if you wish, you can go slightly smaller and use 20 by 20 by 1.6. That's just square high section steel. All the axles, I'm just going to make the same 12mm diameter bar, which is going to make it a lot simpler overall. This is a very basic frame. As you can see, just here I've got the steering brackets, a bit of a detail about how I'm going to mount the steering. So when I build my frame with Fusion 360, it's just going to contain the square high section steel and these steering brackets, because they're going to be welded onto the end of this frame. So although these are part of the steering, they are attached to the frame as part of the frame. So they will be part of the frame component. So let's get ahead. I'll go get ahead with this. Go right ahead with this, and I'm going to open up Fusion 360. Hold on, just see if there's another drawing about I've got here from overall. This is a bit more of a rougher sketch of how my development of my frame. This is like an overall exploded view of where the seat might go, how the wheels are going to attach, how the steering is going to attach to it all. There's details down here about the steering and about my wheels, how I'm going to go about producing my wheels as well. But we'll get onto that when we get onto those two parts. But first, for today, we're just going to focus on the frame. So once you open Fusion 360, this is the interface you're faced with. First thing you need to do is switch on your origin, so you can see your three different planes and your origin point. So because our frame is it's going to lie parallel with the ground plane, so we're going to do our sketching on this ground plane here. What's important about Fusion 360, which is way different than Solid Edge, is that you build things. If you go straight ahead in a sketch and extrude something, it just creates it as a body. And that's okay, maybe if you're just doing a one-off part, but because this Fusion 360 works very similar to Google SketchUp, in that you build your whole product within this and you save your individual components or your individual parts as components. So it's a really good habit to get into, is just setting up a component before you do your sketch. So the frame is a whole component, it's one part. So we're going to go click on this button up here. So this is like the overall product button. So we're going to right click on that and go new component. Okay, you'll end up with this box. We're going to rename this, double click on it, rename it frame. Okay, so under this heading, when you open this up, you'll have a whole heap of all the little bits and pieces and sketches you have done to make up your frame. So we're going to go right ahead and start a sketch. The way we're going to do this is we're just going to do an outline. We're just going to do a line drawing of my frame, and then we're going to Fusion 360's got this great button called pipe, which allows you to build a pipe around your sketch. So all I need to do is just do a little line drawing of my frame, then turn into pipe. Very simple. So I'm going to go sketch, just the line button, click on the face, ground plane. I like to work everything around my origin point and center, have that as a center point to start, because then if you want to mirror or pattern anything, it makes it a lot simpler, especially mirroring, because you can then mirror it around the center plane. And there'll be a bit of mirroring when we come to the steering. So I'm going to sort of start the back axle out here somewhere. This is just a really rough sketch. And then I'm not going to dimension anything. I'm going to go through and dimension everything after I've done the sketch. So my back axle just drops down, straight down like that. Just going to click it. So you'll see it wants to start to draw another line off the end of this one. If you just hit the escape key, it stops. It just eliminates that. Now my frame comes off here somewhere. If you right click, this little toolbox opens up and it has a whole heap of quite useful features. I just want to repeat line, click on here. So we're going to come out here somewhere, you're going to drop down here. I'm going to come back to here. Okay, here's my rear axle and my first part of the frame. Okay, I'm going to come off here, escape, draw a new line. Make sure it ties up at the end of that one. And a new line is going to join up with these two here. Okay, so that is, if I go back to my drawing, so that's basically just this drawn out as a very quick line sketch. Okay, very simple. So what we're going to do now is go through and dimension anything. I've got my dimension button up here, but if you just hit D on your keyboard, it will automatically switch to dimensioning mode. So this one here, this is going to jump. It's only 100 millimeters now, but it's going to scale out quite a bit. I need it at 600. It's going to jump a lot. Don't panic too much. So the next subframe is 500 wide. So click here, type 500. And so that's going to leave 100 mil between here and here, 100, 100. No, it should only be 50. 600 minus 500, 100 divided by 2 is 50. There we go. This one here is 400. Don't worry about these dimensions. You can go back and alter them at any time you wish to, even after you've completed your whole frame. 400, so this is going to be 50. This is going to be 600. And this is going to be 100 from here to here. Okay, and now the lengths. So I've got 700 between here and here. Oh, Control Z, I might do that first one first, which is 400. This doesn't get too confusing. Oh yeah, so it hasn't taken these lines out with it, but I just need to redimension those at 400 each. And this one, 400. And then this one at 600. 700. No, it's added a dimension there for somehow. I'm just going to have to scoot back. I've got a dimension here that shouldn't be there. Okay. Okay, so now this one 400. And this one 400. Hopefully this time 600. Okay, so there we've got our sketch of our frame is all done. What I'm going to do is just add a little strengthening bar across here and maybe a couple of rails down into here, because this is my seat. My seat's going to sit in this area, so I probably just need some rails in there. Don't worry about it too much. You can alter these at any time later in the drawing. So I'm just going to add a rails between here and here. Make sure it attaches to that line as it's 90 degrees. Yep. And just two that come up through here. So I'm just going to roughly dimension these, which 200. So this one's 5, so 3, so there's 150 either side. 150. Yep, looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that so far. So click on Stop Sketch. So this should resemble your drawing. It should be an accurate sketch of your drawing. So what we're now going to do is just create the tube for it. So if you come down to Pipe, click on the Pipe button. You'll see Path. The path is your sketch work you've just completed. A new body, we want to make it to join. So all these bits need to join together, so make sure join's selected. Now section's not circular, it's square. But if you wish to make it out of round tube, it is entirely up to you. So we're going to make it, mine's out of square, 25 by 25 square, and it's hollow section. Okay, so the path, these are the paths. You want to start off with the front. You see it automatically makes the tube around that center line. But obviously the tube is miles too big. So down here we've got section size. I've probably got some saved. So mine's 25 millimeters and 1.6, which brings it way back more to scale. Okay. So when you click OK, what happens is the rest of your sketch disappears because it thinks it's now completed its job. But if you go back up to your component button for the component we're working on, open it up, you'll see sketches. Open that up. And you'll see sketch 1, which is our original sketch, is not highlighted. So just click on the light bulb and it will bring it back. So now we're going to just work our way through the frame. And make it a join. Sorry, I may have left it on cut. I don't know. It should be able to set those as let's see if I can select a whole heap of them. Shift. Now, if you hold Shift down, you can go through and select the whole lot. I'm still learning this as well. But will it let me do the pipe on it? Pipe. Go back to select. No, it won't let me select them. I'll have to work through this one by one. Okay, repeat pipe. I've done that as a cut. Okay, so we're very quickly getting our frame looking quite good at the moment. Join. I should be able to set those as a default somewhere. I'll have to have a look at that later. Okay, now last one. What I might do is I might just turn that into a steel plate to mount my seat to. So you can see that little square highlights. If I go up to the modify button, I can select that little square, and then I can just lift that up to make it out of some 3mm plate or something. Maybe I'll just leave it as pipe for now. I'll just leave it as pipe for now, maybe. Okay, so there is my frame, my basic frame built. It's really all done now. So just one last thing is to assign a material to it. So if I come back up to my frame, if I right click on that, I can go physical material, and this little button pops up. Just drop it down, metal. Just want to make some steel under S. Just normal steel would be great. Just drag it over and drop it on there. Okay, so that's my frame done. So that's first part of this drawing. First main part. All I need to do now is just add those little steering brackets. So what I'm going to do is draw a little sketch on the front here and then extrude it back. This might be the easiest way to go and do that. So if I can bring this little face up, you can see this little 1.6mm edge here from the tube. So our frame is still in operation. So I'm going to want to do a sketch, but I just want a rectangle with a center rectangle right on this face here. That's what I'm going to attach it to. Bring it to the center. So I want these. What's my drawing say? 50mm. 50mm wide and 80mm high. 50 tab 80. Enter. And I also want material thickness is going to be 3mm thick. So if I just come up with a line, one little line running between here and here, and one between here and here. And then hit the D button for dimension, and dimension those off at 3mm wide. 3, enter, and this one here. So now I've stopped my sketch. So if I come back up here to the modify button, I can want to drag this here out. Just type in 3, enter. Give them my 3mm thickness. It has actually left this part here out, but don't worry too much about that. You can fill it in if you wish to, or leave it hollow. It's entirely up to you. So it's done the same thing again. It's just lost those sketches. So sketch 2, just highlight that again because I now need to extrude these here out. This one and this one. But these I want to bring out further. So I'm going to make these 55mm. Okay, so now we've got this, because we've done our drawing, it hasn't ended up on that center plane, but it doesn't matter too much, we can do a new one. So I don't want to have to go and redraw this whole thing, because it's exactly the same on the other side. So what I can do is mirror this, but there's nothing to mirror it off now, because my drawing, I never started my drawing off on my origin. My origin's right to the right hand side of my frame at the moment. So I need a plane down the middle to center that mirror off. So what we can do is click construct, mid plane. What this does is just creates a mid plane between two faces. And we just click on our two faces. So we can just click on this one, and we just want that one. And you see it creates this little plane here right between the two faces. Now I can quickly go to create mirror. I wonder if it'll pick up the whole body. Mirror plane, which is this middle one here, and go OK. And what that does is mirrors this whole thing off this side. Well, all we're missing now is this little hole for the center, which I should have done before I mirrored it. So quickly do a new sketch, circle, center diameter. Click on this top face. I'm going to use 12mm axles throughout, so it's just going to be a real simple 12mm hole. If you see this little triangle that highlights, that means you're in the center of this plane, of that line. That triangle, center, center. So if I bring this over, it'll pick up the center. So I'm going to click there and draw 12mm. Stop sketch. Just reorientate that so I can see it. The modify button again, just click that middle circle. You see that blue arrow goes up? What that means is we're doing extrude. But if we drag it the other way, it turns red, which is a cut. What you notice here is the number changes to a negative. So any negative number you enter in here is going to cut through. But because I'm just going straight through both bits, I'm just going to drag that straight through and leave it at that. Enter. Okay, because I should have done this before I mirrored, then I wouldn't be having this problem of having to mirror it again. But because I haven't, I just need to quickly mirror this off as well. I just want a face. I might need to do body. We'll put that hole up. And this one here. Mirror plane, this mid plane we generated a minute ago. Yeah, it's not going to do it. No, it's not going to do it. I should have done before I did this. Just going to Control Z back a bit. Okay, back to the sketch. Circle the center point. Top face. Pick up the centers. And this one here. 12mm. Stop sketch. I'm holding the shift and middle mouse button. That allows me to rotate it around like that. Modify. You can also use the extrude button, but the modify is just a quick, it's like a SketchUp, Google SketchUp push-pull button. Works exactly the same. I'm just going to cut that all the way through. Okay. I've still got my mid-plane there, so hopefully it'll do the whole thing. Bodies, so I want that whole body, mirror plane. Yep, perfect. Okay, so that is my frame done. So what I'm now do is save it. Go to save as year 11 frame. Okay, click save. And what this does, this is actually this little button up here. This is where all your models get saved to, down, and you set saving over here. It saves up on the cloud for you. So that's it. That's your frame. If you follow these steps, you'll need to use your own frame design. Don't copy mine, please. And don't worry about what it looks like now. You can very, very easily go back, change those dimensions, and it automatically updates your overall frame design. So this is just a really rough layout of my frame at the moment, which I might go back and modify when I start to construct my other parts, if things start to clash. Okay, that's the first video in the series, and I'll catch you again with the next one. Thank you.